not rooted, it will not hold itself up. If the foundation of the tower is weak, it will crumble. If a kite cannot be tethered by a string, it cannot fly. What do these things have in common? They have a sense of foundation. No matter how rigid or how flexible, they have a base. We'll get back to that in a second. Today I want to talk about finding option C. When we make calculated decisions, we come down to whether it's option A or option B. Because no matter how many bed sheets you look at, it's going to come down to the last two that you want to buy. And then you say, you know what, let's find another one. That's what this is. This is called finding option C. For me to explain this to you, I have to tell you how I think. When I was young, I was born in Pakistan. I was growing up in Dubai as well. The school system was tough for me. I averaged C's, D's, F's. Yes, it's possible to average F's. But I was very frustrated by this. I would put my entire effort, everything I had, into this. And what would come out was that it wasn't good enough. And it was frustrating. In fact, I would actually find myself often in principals' offices or going to see a psychologist. And every time they turned to me and said, what is going on? And like a car, I would show up, I would sit down in the seat, and like a car that's been revving its engine this entire time, my brain was overpowered with everything that was happening. It would break down. I would start crying uncontrollably in these offices. And I couldn't say anything. I couldn't say the words. I couldn't put anything together. The only thing that would come out is, I don't get it. I just don't get it. It's like someone gave you the alphabet and said, read the following paragraph. And it stumped me. Because for whatever reason, my everything wasn't good enough. And I'll give you a quick example of what that felt like. If everybody just join me in on this for a quick second. Do this. As you do this, can you hear the lack of synchronicity? It's just noise. It's just pattern. It's nothing. And that's what it felt like, time and time again in a classroom. It was just noise. I couldn't comprehend anything. Math made no sense. But then something happened, something unique. And I found something that helped me out with this. I started playing drums when I was about 14 or 15 years old. And at that point, something in my head just clicked. It was as if the secret to everything that I was suffering from had just come to fruition. And I said, wow, I finally get it. My grades went from your average F's to B's to A's. I had never seen an A on my report card until I was 14. This is incredible. How is this happening? And I couldn't make sense of it, but all of a sudden things started making sense. It was almost as if there was a pattern that started occurring. And I was confused, but I was also just enjoying it. I said, I'm finally able to catch up with my peers. I'm finally able to be with the rest of the team. And then something more unique happened. Someone came up to me and said, if you really want to pursue drumming, you have two options. Option A, you either go ahead and turn this into a curriculum. You study hard and you study well. And with dedication, you will become a learned percussionist. And then they said, it's either that or you're born with it. I said, yeah, that's not me. So then I realized something. The more music I started reading, I said that there was a pattern occurring in these drum beats. That there was one drum beat I could actually learn, and I found out I could play almost 200 songs to it. So once again, I'm going to ask you guys to join me in on this. So I found my first option C. I said, if I don't need to go ahead and study like a maniac to become better at percussion, nor do I have to be born with it to become a great drummer, I found out that, you know what? We can do this. We can do this by just looking at patterns. So my first finding option C was in pattern recognition. Just by learning that single beat, you have access to 200 different kinds of songs. If I started naming them, like, you'd blow your mind. Jimi Hendrix, Kansas, Ariana Grande, anything you put your mind to it, that pattern actually exists in there. And that was that one beat. So I graduated high school, to everyone's great surprise, and I went to university. And it was amazing. My first year was fantastic. I was on top of the moon. I made new friends. At this point, I had moved to Vancouver, Canada, and it was just fantastic. I was loving the life, the everything. You guys know university. I'm going to get into this, right? But then something happened in my second year. Because I didn't have access to drums, I stopped playing, and I found that there was something that started happening again. That frustration, that depression built back into me. And it really, really wrecked me. In my second year, I found out that I was about to fail out of university if I didn't pick up my socks and get back on the horse. And I worked so hard to get here. This was not an easy journey for me, but oh my God, I was so scared that this was going to happen. So my mother did what any great mom would do, and she said, we're going to go see a psychologist. I said, great mom, let's do it. So we went to go see this incredible clinical psychologist. She ran a bunch of tests, and we did a bunch of sessions together, and I'm 20 years old. This isn't an easy thing for me, so I'm trying to go through the motions with this person. And she said something amazing. She said, do you play an instrument? I said, yeah, that's weird. How do you know that? And then she says, is it drums? I said, yeah, that's very creepy. How do you know that? And then she said, my research currently, I'm looking at how if an individual plays an instrument, it can actually hide a very common disease or learning disability, dyslexia. At the age of 20, I found out I was dyslexic, and I was so excited. I thought it was me. But when she told me that her research has been helping her go through these motions, I said, that's exactly what I've been suffering with. I've been wondering where I've been going wrong this entire time. She said, I'll tell you what, whatever you do, don't stop playing drums. And I said, okay. This is an actual picture of me playing drums. But as soon as she said that, she said, you need to keep exercising that, because for some reason, your comprehension, your skills, whatever it's taking for you to process information is making sense through this. And I said, that's fantastic. That's exactly what I'm going to go up and do. So I went back to Vancouver, and I started playing drums. I found studios. I bought my own drum kit, and I haven't stopped since. And my God, it was the best decision I ever made. Following that, I started recording in studios. I was in festivals. I played concerts and shows at the end of whatever British Columbia is, the borders. I traveled to the U.S. It turned fantastic, and I was so excited. I was like, yes, I'm finally back. I'm on my feet. And while I was doing this, I also found something new. After my graduation from university, I actually found a love for work. I started working at an incubation firm that specialized in helping startups get up on their feet. And I was just amazed. I said, how do I get more of that? How do I keep doing it? And I would see startups come in. They would build. They would fail. They would grow. They would shrink. It was like watching one of those foundations we just spoke about change constantly. And I was like, I want this. I want this new tree. I want this new foundation of this building. I want that kite with a tethered string to it. How high can we fly? Where can it go? Well, at that point, something else happened. I had a big decision to make. So, I'll give you guys a quick background to what happened. This is right after I finished playing Burning Man, and I played there with two bands. We left, we drove straight to Santa Cruz. We were standing there, and I got an offer of an acceptance to a financial management consulting firm in Dubai, and I said, that's fantastic, I would love to take that. And then I called my dad. And I said, Dad, I have a choice. I either stay in Vancouver, I continue the life of trying to be a musician, or I go ahead and become, a financial management consultant. And he said, well, life is about balance. So what do you need to do to find balance? So I was given two options. Option A, musician. Option B, start choosing the career life. Now, I'm not someone who settles for either of those things very easily or very quickly, so I said, I'm going to do both. My dad said, that's fine, but balance isn't just about equating what you already have. You realize you're going to have to work twice as hard. You're going to have to work twice as tough. There'll be no hours in your day you have to spend. And I said, that's true. So I found option C, again, in the world of balance. When you're faced with something that requires two different ways to approach it, never say it should be either one. You can have both. You can have everything you want, but be memorable of this one fact. It is effort. It is time and it is work. And there's no substitute for that. So I said, let's do it. I moved to Dubai, became a financial management consultant, and I said I will keep playing drums until my legs fall off. So within 2 years, do you remember that thing I told you about the car? The car that was revving and like it broke down because my brain just overpowered and I couldn't do it? I finally found the gearbox. So after all this patterns and recognition and all this started making sense to me in my head, I got in the car, I was revving it, and I found the gearbox and I plugged it in. And within 2 years, I was given the chance to work with the IFC to create this report. I can't believe they allowed me to write it. But it was about Islamic banking and finance opportunities across micro, small, and medium enterprises in the Kyrgyz Republic. It was a huge project. It lasted months on months, and I had never worked on something like this, but I was so excited that I got to see the world of micro, small, and medium enterprises through a new lens. And you know what? They liked the report so much, they invited me to come talk on a panel with other specialists. As you can see, I'm staring, wondering where the sandwiches are. At this point, I was like, I don't belong up here. This doesn't make sense. Why would you put me on a stage with all these incredible professionals? We presented in front of something like 30 CEOs, and they were, questions. I had these headphones on to translate from Kyrgyz and Russian to English, and it was awesome. And I had an amazing experience. And I told my dad, I'm like, Dad, this is happening. He's like, you know what, don't stop there. Like, see how far you can go. I said, great. How funny is this? I know. It's uncanny, the resemblance to the earlier picture. But I didn't stop playing drums either. I said I would continue. And this is me at a show. I wish I kind of remembered which one this one was. But I had the chance to open for some incredible artists. The Scorpions. I got to go play with the Stereophonics. I said open for the Stereophonics. I got to open for Ollie Murs. This is me just at band rehearsal on stage, just trying to get ready for everything. But I realized that I found my peace. I found what it made me me. And it was the balance of the two. It was the fact that the work and the life of a musician is what I wanted. And I think in this image, whoever caught this was that one glimpse of my absolute euphoria that I was like, exactly what I need to be right now. Then we got to open for Lionel Richie in front of 35,000 people, and my knees buckled. We got off stage, and I couldn't believe that happened. Most incredible 35 minutes. So when I was in Dubai, we started a fintech company, and that one is, I believe it's still alive, I hope it is, but there was a very definitive moment in there. I was sitting in a cab, and the cab driver turned to me and said, I have no money. And I was like, why, what's wrong? He said, I've just paid so much money in fines, I paid so much money to the rent I have to pay and all this, I literally have no more cash. I said, why don't you borrow cash? He's like, who's gonna rent me cash? Who's gonna loan me some money? And he said, banks won't do it. They won't they'll only hand out $100,000 at a time. They're not gonna give me any money. And I was like, okay, I guess I can see that. And he said, the only other option I have are loan sharks. And I said, why loan sharks? And he said, well, those are the people who will loan you money. I'm like, at what cost? He said, my legs. But something happened. I said, well, why isn't there an alternative option? He's like, because it doesn't exist. We don't have payday loans in Dubai. We don't have things like that. I said, okay, let's work on that. So my fintech company worked on creating an option for this base of the pyramid individual who wanted just to have a little bit of money, $50 to $150, just to get it to his kids, his wife back in Pakistan. And he's like, I just want him to have his sports equipment to play cricket. If you don't know what cricket is, it's like baseball with teeth. So So it was really amazing to like watch this guy be so struggled about this, but we built this platform. And we said, we're going to give you the chance to avail this money. You're going to have a chance to have money to do something fantastic with it. And he said, awesome, tell me when, how do we get there? So we built this product. And then when we built it, I didn't realize how big this product could be. If you just want $100 to buy a bigger TV or $200 to buy a better couch, I kind of figured that we're actually in the transitioning class. This isn't just about the base of the pyramid anymore. It's about anyone who wants something that is just a little better, and that's what we're all fighting for. We just want that one bit that's a bit more than what we have. And in order for us to get there, we need to know where we are. We need to understand what our boundaries are today, and how do we defeat those boundaries in the next. And that was something that resonated with me entirely. I loved it. I said, how do we figure this out? Regulatory systems, we went through research, we built algorithms, we created things that were just so momentous, and it was so much fun. Things failed, some worked, some didn't. It didn't matter, we were just going for it. And what an amazing moment that was, and I realized I just found option C. Because that cab driver told me I can either go ahead and take money from a bank that I can't afford, or have my legs broken, I said, let's find option C. And that was by breaking boundaries. We have to find ways that the conventional systems, no matter how base they are, have to change. We need to choose not to change ourselves, but to change the system in order for us to become something greater and better. So I will leave you with these three. That patterns, with a sense of balance, we can break boundaries. Like a kite tethered to a string, we can only fly so high, but we must be flexible.